Good morning. I am State Representative Nick Gauthier, and I am here to talk about a law that was passed in 2022 by popular majority support, but by the voters of Massachusetts. And that is called, as was alluded to earlier, the Fair Share Amendment. And what this law did in 2022 is it created a new upper-level top marginal tax bracket, which put a 4% surtax on incomes after $1 million a year. So if you're making $900,000 a year or less, it doesn't touch you. And with this 4% surtax, written as a constitutional amendment, the revenue generated from that went to very specific ends. It went to public education, transportation, infrastructure, and paying child care workers a living wage. And in this law, passed in Massachusetts, has been wildly successful. And what I mean by wildly successful is that the revenue generated from it has gone to those ends, and also wildly successful in terms of the revenue generated, because when they originally passed this, or before they passed it, they were anticipating about $1 billion of new revenue each and every year. But in fact, they have generated $2 billion of new revenue each and every year, added up to about $6 billion since it's passed. And that is $6 billion in our neighboring state to go to guaranteeing universal school meals, both breakfast and lunch, to every child in Massachusetts schools, to fund construction, school construction and repair projects, to make public transportation fare-free, to put money towards infrastructure projects, fixing roads and bridges, and as I said, for child care, to make sure that our child care workers are paid a livable wage. Now, I have kind of copied from our neighbors, and I have introduced their Fair Share Amendment here in our state, both as a constitutional amendment, which if passed would be the most durable and permanent version of this law, but also just as a normal top-level marginal tax bracket. So we can do it in either way. One of the benefits of doing it as a constitutional amendment in addition to making it permanent, is that at the end of the day, for anyone who might be uncomfortable up here in the General Assembly, what you're doing by voting as a constitutional amendment is you are handing it off to the voters of our state to make that decision for our state through a popular majority vote. So I'm open to doing it either way. I hope the Finance Committee can consider both versions and bring them up, because this is how we get to affordability. And as was talked about earlier, when you have the Elon Musks and the Linda McMahons of the world who get their taxes cut by $1 trillion at the federal level, well, it is our responsibility as state government to make sure that they are paying their fair share of taxes so that we can fund our services here in Connecticut. So I thank the Tax Equity Caucus and all my colleagues here for all of the ways in which we are making our tax system more fair, and I just wanted to present this additional option that we can hopefully consider and work on going forward. Thank you.